Hey guys, it's Eddo's weekly talk on the pathways. Welcome back. I'm going to talk about Belmore and the two games that were played there, and then after that there'll be some game highlights and some screenshots of the weekend results, points tables, and what's coming up this weekend with the teams. Hope you enjoy that. And so on to Belmore. Quite a trek getting out there with the Sydney trains down. Had to get a train to Ashfield and then a couple of buses. Bit of an adventure, but it was pretty well organised, I have to say. Especially getting out of Belmore with the buses, plenty of buses going back to the train stations. So that was well done. So New South Wales Cup, look, this was probably our worst performance of the year. We were very clunky. There was some changes positionally. Reynolds doesn't usually start at dummy half. He's more in the halves or off the bench. We didn't get off to a good start with Reynolds and in the first 20 minutes, and we were down 16-0, I think, pretty early. And then, we've got Raja playing fullback. I don't particularly think he is a fullback. I prefer Papali'i, but he was missing for this game because of Origin. Hayes Perham and Alamotti were in the centres, and their combinations with their wingers were probably a bit lacking, especially on one side with Perham and Suwa. They had some difficulties at different times with the opposition backline. And we had players missing as well. Reece Hoffman, Kidiani Katoga, Ethan Kyle Ward, Brown, Papali'i, as I said, and there was a sprinkling of some flag and ball players as well coming up and playing on a bigger occasion in front of a bigger crowd. And Jonathan Sewer had a bit of a rough day on the wing. Jack Todd, it was good to see him play. Good for the experience, and Harry Hayes has been there a few times already. So it was good to see all them guys play. But I think it's better for us when we bring them through with not so much to expect and rely on all at once. Like, we need experience, and we've seen that with the NRL team as well. When there's not enough players available or we don't play enough experienced players, it puts too much on the young guys, and that was again the case in New South Wales Cup. I thought the Bears, they showed that they're a top 4 team. They're going to be hard to beat, but when we get our full-strength side back, we aren't the best defensive team in this competition for nothing, and we'll be competitive at the back end, I'm sure. Anyway, so on to the NRL game. Look, I thought there was some good signs, especially with the ball and early in the first half. Some enterprising play, but I've got to point out some negatives, unfortunately. And it might sound like I'm focusing too much on the negatives, but I want to point out a few things. From so-called leaders of the team, captains. Reid Marnie and Matt Burton kicking on the 3rd and 4th tackle. It's like we're trying to back our defence and win the game that way, but our defence has not been there for a while now. Why are we giving quality ball to opposition? The kicks weren't even deep into their half. We're turning the ball over in decent field position. Generally 25, 30 metres out from their line. And then we back that up by giving a couple of penalties away, and they scored 2 tries that way. So we didn't even learn from it the first time and did it again. And the second time was on the 3rd tackle, and the kick was worse. That time was Matt Burton. I don't quite understand that tactic. Is it a game tactic, or are the players given free rein to do that because they're the leaders of the side? I'm not sure, but someone needs to be held accountable. And then Reid Marnie threw an intercept pass while attacking the line and gave a penalty away, and Brisbane scored again. Pangai Jr., another leader, probably our leader of the pack, really. off a restart, we got back into the game at 12-all, threw an offload, turned the ball over from an error to Blake Wilson, put him under pressure, and Brisbane scored their third try. It's basic errors from leaders. Soft online defence out of dummy half, 2 tries in the second half. As Serrato said, it's amateur hour. It's not good enough. I think Jackson Tapine was targeted in that regard, and he's been guilty of that in the past in both grades, online defence. They seem to want to exploit his size. So I think having Kikau coming back into the team, I wouldn't mind seeing Tapine move into a different role, but still on the side and maybe used off the bench as a dummy half replacement or a roving lock unless there's injuries to other positions. I think his energy and his enthusiasm in the middle of the field could be handy. Plus, he's not isolated on an edge with his defence. He has bigger players around him. He's not a bad defender in general parts of the field. He's quite good. I think it'd be worth a try. Ockenbaugh going for an air swing off a dropout. Totally missed it. And Brisbane scored another try. I realise some of these things where we're trying to get back in the game and force things, but none of them are coming off. We're not a team where this is working at the moment, where we can afford to do that. It's just snowballing, snowball effect. Preston, had another good game, but goes for a charge down on the last tackle. Gave them another set. Again, quality ball to the opposition in decent position. Not sliding in the defensive line. Not committing to come in and make an effective tackle. Leaves gaps in the back line. Quality Broncos backs to exploit. And they did that a couple of times in the second half. Okay, the positives. I thought Corey Waddell played his best game for a while. Very solid at lock. Joel Skelton had some nice touches with the ball, some good hit-ups, made some good post-contact meters. He's like an extra forward, really. And that could give us that flexibility to use our bench a bit differently by using straight-out forwards rather than carrying it back, which we have done. Averillo at fullback, I'm really enjoying seeing him play fullback again. It's a shame we didn't use him at fullback earlier in the year, I feel. I think that, he's more of a ball-playing fullback. Because of his halves experience, I think has helped him that way. And, he's not only a threat when he runs the ball, but when he gets the ball, he's thinking to pass it to a player in a better position. Whereas with Hayes, I kind of feel like he just wants to run first and then maybe pass or back up later. It's not so natural. But, there were some good signs in attack, and, it was a shame losing Toby Sexton because Matt Burton's a different player. I've already seen in a game and a half how much difference Toby Sexton's made to Matt Burton's game. And, I'll be looking forward to seeing more of that. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. And, hopefully we can finish off the year a lot better and make less mistakes. And these leaders need to stand up and lead the way and not put the team under constant pressure if they want to be leaders. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Under-19 State of Origin, which was played last week. The two boys in the Under-19s New South Wales and Queensland State of Origin game both did extremely well. Yeah, Damon Marshall played long minutes in that game. Almost the whole game, I think. And his defence was definitely the standout. He was probably one of the best defensive players on the field, to be honest. His technique in defence is really good. He put a couple of good hits on, forced a couple of balls loose. Really strong in defence. He was probably one of the best defenders on the field. And he made some good runs as well. He's got some good leg drive there. And, he's not the tallest middle forward, but he certainly held his own, and he made some good metres through the middle, carrying a few defenders with him at times. So, he played really well. And Joash came on late in the second half. I think about the last 20 minutes, probably, I think it was. And, he made a good try-saving tackle in the corner in cover, and also a try assist, a nice kick to the centre. Ethan Strange, who was just unbelievable in that game, scored a hat-trick, and he was really good. But, Joash certainly played his part in that New South Wales victory, so well done, boys.
Country Week, round 18. The Blackhawks and the Clydesdales. Townsville, the home team today with first possession. And the Blackhawks inside the 20 here. Sandruku, the defensive line had raced up, and Sandruku with some fancy footwork. He gets the opener. Taniela Sandruku.
Wait, go 2.
And there's Burke as they go via Hampton. Elliott face ball. And Jodeci Baker Taraha.
I want to see the photographic evidence of that.
Outside.
Oh, that's I'm going to plead the fifth on the photograph.
Robert Darby gets past Cole Walker. He's got support on the inside with Mackenzie Baker. Draws and passes the fullback. And the Townsville Blackhawks go coast to coast.
Funny story, fellas. Zach Laybart actually was on the...
Hold the phone, Taylor, because the low and Button's through, and he's running straight through Brennan Elliott like a turnstile. He offloaded away to Isom Yoka, who scores. He could have gone himself, Button.
Ipswich are having a disastrous season down the bottom of the ladder without a win.
Middle.
And, you know, a few of the players who were playing with Ipswich last year have made the change.
Oh, brilliant ball. Look who it is. It's Robert Darby. A little give and go linking up there with the centre three-quarter in Mackenzie Baker.
Go 3.
Timms, McGrady, quick hands. Button beats one. Can he go all the way? Yes, he can. And Lowen Button. He was selfless earlier.
Well, I don't think most halfbacks would claim to be offloaders in the tackle.
Here is the Blackhawks, Brandon Elliott. The inside pass there from Baker Taraha. He'll finish it off, Elliott. Well done, Baker Taraha.
I mean, you think of a winger going for the corner, there'll be 3 or 4 players coming across in desperate cover.
Yep.
Like this.
Baker Taraha beats one, beats another. Still going. Baker Taraha. Somebody stop him.
Go on.
We'll stay with the play here. McIntyre, Hampton. Shibasaki again, still going. Giamat Shibasaki linking up with Mitchell Dunn. He almost ran into the upright, and Dunn slams it down in celebration. The Blackhawks are going to be leaving Activate Queensland Country Week with the 2 points here in Stanthorpe.
Scored some really impressive tries along the way, didn't they?
They certainly did. 42 points to 12. That is full time. We saw that Containers for Change conversion from Thomas Duffy. 42 points to 12. Full-time score, a 30-point margin.